You think you've seen everything in wrestling? Think again. What Paul Heyman just did on Monday Night Raw might be the single most disgusting, most vile, most disrespectful thing we've witnessed in decades. And Seth Rollins is ready to burn the entire WWE universe to the ground because of it. This isn't storyline anymore, folks. This is personal. This is war. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why Seth Rollins just declared that he's coming back whether WWE medical staff likes it or not. What happened on Raw this week didn't just cross the line, it obliterated it. Paul Heyman stood in the middle of that ring, with that smug, arrogant smile plastered across his face, and proceeded to mock Seth Rollins' career-threatening injury in front of millions of viewers worldwide. The wise man? More like the most cowardly, disgusting human being to ever hold a microphone. And here's the thing that's got the entire wrestling community absolutely fuming right now. Heyman didn't just insult Seth. He brought up Seth's family. He brought up Seth's legacy. He questioned whether the architect would ever be able to compete at the same level again. The audacity, the sheer disrespect. Let me paint you the picture of exactly what went down, because trust me, you need to hear every single detail of this train wreck. Raw opened with Paul Heyman walking down that ramp like he owned the place, Roman Reigns nowhere to be seen, and the crowd already booing him out of the building. Heyman grabbed that microphone and what came next was nothing short of character assassination. He started talking about broken dreams and shattered legacies, and everyone in that arena knew exactly who he was talking about. Then he said it, the words that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world: Seth Rollins will never be the same. His body has betrayed him, his time has passed, and the era of the tribal chief will continue unchallenged. But Heyman wasn't done. Oh no, he was just getting started. He pulled out his phone, and what appeared on the Titantron was footage, actual footage, of Seth Rollins limping backstage after his injury. Heyman narrated over it like some sick documentary, pointing out every wince, every grimace of pain, every moment of weakness. The WWE universe was in absolute shock. Grown men in that crowd looked ready to jump the barricade. This wasn't heat, this was legitimate disgust. Heyman even had the nerve to do an exaggerated limp around the ring, mocking Seth's injury in the most tasteless way imaginable. Now here's where things get absolutely nuclear. Because while this was happening live on Raw, Seth Rollins was watching. Seth was supposed to be at home recovering, doctor's orders, weeks away from any sort of clearance. But according to multiple backstage sources that we've spoken to here at Wrestling Zone Insider, Seth was watching that segment live, and what happened next was unprecedented. Seth immediately got in his car, drove straight to the arena, and showed up unannounced, still in street clothes, knee brace visible, and he was furious. Before we continue with this absolute chaos, we have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. Security tried to stop Seth at the entrance. WWE officials tried to reason with him. Medical staff literally begged him not to go out there, but Seth Rollins pushed past everyone. The look in his eyes, according to people who were there, was something they'd never seen before. This wasn't the calculated architect. This wasn't the maniacal Monday Night Messiah. This was a man who had been pushed beyond his breaking point, and he was out for blood. When Seth's music hit during the main event segment, the crowd absolutely erupted. The roof nearly came off the building. Paul Heyman's face went from smug confidence to sheer terror in about half a second. Seth limped down that ramp, but you could tell he didn't care about the pain anymore. He had one target, one mission: get his hands on Paul Heyman. The microphone in Seth's hand was shaking, not from nervousness, but from pure, unfiltered rage. And here's the trivia question for you: do you remember the last time Seth Rollins attacked Paul Heyman? Drop your answer in the comments below and let's see who the real Wrestling Zone Insider fans are. What Seth said next has already become one of the most viral moments in WWE this year. His voice was trembling with emotion as he spoke. Paul, you want to mock my injury? You want to question my legacy? You want to tell the world that I'm done? Let me tell you something right now, and I want you to listen very carefully. I don't care what the doctors say. I don't care what WWE management says. I don't care if I have to crawl back into this ring. I'm coming back. And when I do, I'm not coming for Roman Reigns. I'm not coming for a championship. I'm coming for you, Paul Heyman. Because you just made the biggest mistake of your miserable, pathetic life. The intensity in that promo was off the charts. You could see veins bulging in Seth's neck. His eyes were watering, but these weren't tears of sadness, these were tears of pure fury. The crowd was chanting "Burn it down" so loud that you couldn't even hear yourself think. And Paul Heyman? He tried to escape through the crowd, stumbling over chairs, absolutely terrified. Security had to form a human wall to keep Seth from getting to him because everyone in that building knew that if Seth got his hands on Heyman right then and there, things would get ugly fast. But the story doesn't end there. Oh no, it gets even crazier. After Raw went off the air, Seth refused to leave the building. He sat in the ring for over 20 minutes, just staring at the entrance ramp, daring Paul Heyman to come back out. WWE officials were in panic mode backstage because they had an injured superstar who was medically not cleared just sitting in their ring, potentially making his injury worse with every second. The liability concerns alone had the legal team freaking out. Here's another trivia question for the comment section. What year did Seth Rollins first become WWE champion? Let us know below. Now, let's talk about what this means for the WWE landscape moving forward, because the implications are massive. First of all, sources are telling us that Seth Rollins was not supposed to appear on Raw at all this week. This was completely off script. Paul Heyman's segment was planned, yes, but Seth showing up? That was 100% Seth going into business for himself, and WWE management is reportedly livid about it. There are talks of fines, there are talks of suspensions, but here's the thing, the segment did such massive numbers, social media engagement went through the roof, and the WWE universe is more invested in this storyline than anything else happening right now. Triple H, in his role as head of creative, is now in an incredibly difficult position. On one hand, he's got a superstar who violated company policy and potentially risked his long-term health. On the other hand, he's got the hottest angle in WWE right now, and the fans are absolutely demanding to see where this goes. Insiders are saying that there have been emergency creative meetings happening non-stop since Monday night, trying to figure out how to navigate this situation. The wrestling community is divided on this. Some people are praising Seth Rollins for his passion and dedication, for being willing to put his body on the line for the business he loves. Others are criticizing him for being reckless, for potentially jeopardizing his career and his family's future over a storyline. Social media is absolutely exploding with hot takes. Wrestling journalists can't type fast enough to keep up with all the developments. This is the kind of moment that reminds us why we love professional wrestling, that blurred line between reality and performance that creates absolute magic. Let's talk about Paul Heyman for a second, because his role in all of this is absolutely critical. Heyman is known as one of the greatest minds in wrestling history, a master manipulator both in storyline and in real life. But did he go too far this time? Was mocking Seth's injury crossing a line that should never be crossed? The thing about Heyman is that he's always been willing to push boundaries, to make people genuinely uncomfortable in service of creating compelling television. But there's a difference between heat and genuine disgust, and Monday Night might have tipped into that territory. What's fascinating from a psychology standpoint is that Heyman knows exactly what he's doing. He understands that in today's wrestling landscape, you need to create moments that feel real, that make people question what's worked and what's a shoot. By going after Seth's actual injury, by making it personal, by creating genuine emotional responses, Heyman is crafting villain work that we haven't seen in years. But at what cost? The backlash against Heyman has been intense. Death threats are being sent to his social media. People are calling for him to be fired. It's gotten to the point where WWE has had to release statements asking fans to remember that this is entertainment. Now, before we get into the backstage drama and what happens next, here's one more trivia question. How many times has Paul Heyman betrayed his clients over his WWE career? Drop your guesses in the comments. Behind the scenes, the situation is reportedly even more complicated than what we're seeing on TV. Seth Rollins is legitimately injured, that part is real. The severity of the injury has been kept under wraps, but sources are saying it's significant enough that WWE medical staff is genuinely concerned about him returning too soon. The company has a responsibility to protect their performers, especially in this era where we understand so much more about long-term health consequences. But Seth is reportedly pushing hard for an early return, and this Heyman situation has only intensified that desire. There are reports that Seth has been working with independent physical therapists, trying to accelerate his recovery timeline. He's posting workout videos on social media, showing that he's still in incredible shape despite the injury. Every post feels like a message: I'm not done. I'm not going away. I'm coming back whether you like it or not. The determination is admirable, but it's also concerning. We've seen too many wrestlers return too soon and end up with career-ending consequences. The locker room reaction to all of this has been fascinating as well. According to our sources, the WWE roster is split. Some veterans are praising Seth for his fire and his refusal to be disrespected. Younger talent are looking at this as a masterclass in getting yourself over and staying relevant even while injured. But there are also concerns being voiced about setting a dangerous precedent, about what happens when performers start ignoring medical advice because they are worried about losing their spot or their momentum. Roman Reigns has remained suspiciously quiet about this entire situation, which is interesting given that Paul Heyman is supposed to be his wise man. Is there friction developing between Reigns and Heyman? Is this part of a larger storyline that's going to explode at an upcoming premium live event? The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this so compelling. Every week brings new developments, new twists, new reasons to be invested in what happens next. We have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. The business implications of all this cannot be overstated. WWE stock actually saw movement after this segment aired, which shows you just how much impact these storylines can have beyond just entertainment. Merchandise sales for Seth Rollins have spiked. His catchphrases are trending worldwide. This is the kind of organic buzz that money can't buy, and WWE knows it. Which is why, despite the backstage concerns and the official statements about following medical protocols, you can bet that creative is working overtime to figure out how to capitalize on this momentum. Looking ahead, what can we expect? Well, if history is any indication, this is just the beginning. We're likely looking at a build toward a major match at an upcoming premium live event. The question is, will WWE medical staff clear Seth Rollins in time? And if they don't, will Seth find a way to insert himself into the storyline anyway? Based on what we saw Monday night, it seems like nothing is going to keep Seth Rollins away from Paul Heyman. There's also the matter of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. How does this factor into their ongoing saga? Is Paul Heyman's attack on Seth Rollins going to create an unexpected alliance? Could we see Seth Rollins team up with former enemies to take down the Bloodline once and for all? The possibilities are making fans absolutely salivate with anticipation. One thing is absolutely certain, Monday Night Raw will never be the same after what we witnessed. The intensity, the emotion, the genuine feeling that we were watching something real unfold in real time. That's the magic of professional wrestling at its finest. Whether you think Seth Rollins was right or wrong to show up, whether you think Paul Heyman went too far or was just doing masterful villain work, you can't deny that this has captured the attention of the entire wrestling world. So what's your take on all of this? Do you think Seth Rollins was justified in his actions? Should Paul Heyman face consequences for mocking an injured performer? How do you see this storyline playing out? Drop all your thoughts, predictions, and hot takes in the comment section below. We want to hear from the Wrestling Zone Insider community because you guys always have the most insightful perspectives on what's happening in WWE. And make sure you're staying tuned to this channel because we'll be bringing you all the latest updates, backstage reports, and exclusive insights as this story continues to develop. This is far from over, folks. Seth Rollins has declared war, and when the architect sets his mind to something, you better believe he's going to see it through to the end. The question isn't if Seth is coming back. The question is when, and what's going to happen when he finally gets his hands on Paul Heyman? Wrestling Zone Insider will be here every step of the way to break down all the action, all the drama, and all the implications of what might be the hottest storyline in WWE right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep burning it down.